All right, man. Thank y'all for tapping in again. The Streetball approach, your man, the ambassador. Of course, I got my right hand man, Ballaholic, with me. And today I got a special guest, Tim Bush. Former Baylor Bear. I had the pleasure of meeting him and coaching him in China. You know what I mean? Like when I say the Kitsap Admirals, those who have repped the brand, I have had some of the best players throughout the world that has repped the Admirals, and I had a chance to coach. You know what I mean? So our program is not your normal semi-pro type program. You know what I mean? We are an international brand, and here's one of the players right here that we're gonna introduce, and we're gonna just get it in because, like I said, those who know who he is, he played for Baylor. You know what I mean? He was at LSU at a time before going to Baylor. You know what I mean? And he did play professional basketball. And now, you know what I mean? What is he doing? You know what I mean? That's what everybody want to know. So he's still in the game. You know what I mean? But we're gonna let y'all know what it is. So Tim, let's talk to the people. Let's hear a little bit about your background, my man.
Oh man. First off, thank you guys for having me on your platform. It seems like every time I'm dealing with you, Coach Ashley, you always being a blessing, you know.
Appreciate you,
So
man.
I appreciate you. You got the legendary ballaholic on here with you, you know.
Mm,
So it's
I'm
definitely a
good.
blessing and an honor to be on your platform. Uh, but my journey started on the West Bank of New Orleans. Uh, I remember being in middle school. I remember being in middle school, and I was hanging with some friends, and I was always a leader who liked to lead from the background.
Okay.
I never liked to be front and center because where I'm from, all attention wasn't good attention.
The facts.
So I was always, even though I was a leader, I used to always like to blend in with everyone else. And there was a guy by the name of, well, at the time, my middle school coach name was Coach Bob. And he introduced me to a guy named Jay Leger. And Jay Leger came to me and he told me, he said, "Hey, man, you're going to be somebody." But at the time when he walked up to me, I was with all my friends who I was kind of, I don't want to say gang banging because we called ourselves gang bangers, but we really wasn't no gang bangers.
Right.
But he said, "You're going to be somebody, and I want you to come up to Shaw High School." Now, if you know anything about Shaw High School, Pat Riley went to Shaw High School. Ryan Clark went to Shaw High School.
Mm,
The wide receiver coach at Michigan, who just won the national championship with Michigan, Ronald Bellamy, he went to Shaw High School. The coach who was the coach for the Miami Dolphins, Vance Joseph, went to Miami, went to Shaw High School. The coach over at UT right now, I think he's a linebacker coach, Terry Joseph. He also went to Shaw High School.
mm,
Mickey Joseph, who was the head assistant for LSU, who is now who just took the head coaching job at Grambling State University. He went to Shaw High School.
Oh, he's well connected.
So this high school was known for putting out prestigious athletes.
yeah.
So when he told me he wanted me to go to Shaw High School, I said, "Man, are you crazy? I couldn't let when you coming from a city where I'm coming from, I couldn't let any of my friends hear that because if you let your guards down, that's when people take advantage of
Gotcha.
you." And so uh, he asked me for my parents' number. I wouldn't give it, and he showed up to my house, showed up to the hood, and my mom called me to the door. He was at the front door and said, "Hey, you coming to Shaw?" uh, and so before you know it, I was on Shaw's campus, and that's when I learned how to become a leader,
Right.
being at Shaw. And then from Shaw, I went to LSU, signed a scholarship with John Brady at the time, and then decided to leave Shaw. College Temple Senior, who was one of the first black athletes ever to go to LSU, he came to me. He had a talk with me and thought it would be in my best interest to transfer to Baylor and play for Scott Drew, and that's how I ended up going to Baylor.
Okay.
So yeah, so after Baylor, I found myself um, at a San Antonio Spurs camp, and we were skilling and drilling, trying to make the team, full court drills. that real pro treatment, huffing and puffing, trying to make a team, willing to die for it. And shortly after that, Coach Gum, who was one of the owners of the team, he came, put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Hey, man, do you have an agent?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "You will have a way more successful career and work your way into the NBA that way if you go overseas. So what I want to do is help you go overseas." And he helped me to go, take my first professional job, which was in Perth, Australia.
Okay.
That was your first professional job?
That was my first professional job.
Yeah. Wait, what position you play?
I was always a tween. I've been a tweener my whole life. I always played in between positions.
Okay.
I never had a set position. I always guarded like 3s and 4s. And if, the point guards was getting too much pressure, I would have to bring the ball up the court,
Of course. So you were about 6'5", 6'6"?
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
They would always compare me to grandmama.
Oh,
Okay. Larry, okay. All right.
I felt like I could shoot a little bit better than him. He was way more explosive than I was.
okay.
But yeah, so, and I just played in many different countries. I had an opportunity to play with athletes in action. That also brought a lot of opportunity my way. And I was part of the crew. They don't talk about us a lot, man, but I was part of the crew. When I went to Baylor, all of that craziness had just happened. So when I transferred to Baylor, LSU, it was the last game that Nick Saban coached for LSU when they won the national championship with Matt Mark at the quarterback, Marcus Spears, and all those guys.
Right.
So the day after the national championship game was on a Saturday. On a Sunday, I was driving out to Waco to go meet Coach and them to move out to Waco. And, showing up to Baylor's campus, man, when I showed up to Baylor, I was like, "Hold up, Coach. This ain't what you promised, man. This ain't hitting on nothing. This ain't it, bro." At the time, I had Oklahoma on the roster. I had Coach Sampson was there, and they were doing their Final Four repeats and all that other stuff. And I also had Coach Perry Clark, who was at the University of Miami and some other big-time universities that I was going to transfer to. But when Scott Drew came, he was just speaking my language, man. He was just, when I went to college, I grew up in the church.
Okay.
So when he recruited me, he spoke about us being able to live our faith out freely, and also being around people who also share the same faith. So you got somebody to lean on. So he spoke to us about helping making Baylor into what it is today. And he sold me on that, man. And so that's how I ended up at Baylor, because at the time, I never even heard of Baylor. I didn't know who Baylor was. I only knew the Dukes and the Kentucky. That's where my eyes was at,
Real talk.
When I met Coach Drew, I was like, dang, Baylor's going to become the new Duke. And I think that's fair to say today, So, yeah, I had a pretty good career, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, so how was it playing for Coach Ashley?
Oh, man, come on.
I know that could be a trick question. I know, but because I know how you get down, man. I know how Coach Ashley is, but how was it? How was it for you though?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. He trusted me.
Yeah.
And not everybody can coach pros, man. Not everybody can coach pros. He's definitely a professional coach. He's definitely a coach for pros. I learned a lot from Coach Ashley that helps me in my career today when I'm coaching my girls. Right now I took over a Nike job with Cy-Fair EYBL, which is going to host some of the best girls in the country. Number one ranked Aaliyah Chavez, and the list goes on and on. Bella Hines, all those girls. And I'm definitely going to be taking the same approach that he took with us. But one of the biggest things I loved about Coach Ashley that he trusted us. So he's not one of these coaches who come in trying to coach pros and throw his weight around. He was more so receptive to the things we were able to teach him, So, and I think when he's dealing with pros, that's what kind of makes a coach grow. Is learning that, hey, we may know some things that you don't know now. we playing against Team Spain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
He did a great job with us.
That's what's up. Yeah, man, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's definitely what's up.
That was one of the things, like I said, because when I got there, we ended up connecting in China. He actually helped me build a roster too. You know what I mean? Because remember the first couple of guys that we had on the team, he's like, Tim, it ain't gonna work. And all of a sudden, he said, I got you, coach. You know what I mean? And sure enough, he made some calls. I had Big Mims, and who else we had? We had
Roy.
Yep, Roy.
Mike Dunn from Cali.
Yeah.
I had to go get the ball. I had to go get them real ones.
Yeah.
I went and called the real pros. You know them pros who've been proing for about 8-10 years.
Yep. Yeah, got to. Yeah, got to.
Yeah, man,
that
playing
part.
against teams from Spain and all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, these guys coming in prepared. And Coach Ashley said, hey man, we need some help now. I said, hey, if you let me call in some reinforcement, they'll be here by tomorrow. You know, but at the time I was performing. I was doing music. My music career before Fly Joe was doing it, and J. Cole was doing it. Tim Bush was doing it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Hong Kong, all over China, touring, doing music, getting paid for shows.
What?
No.
Oh, yeah.
What happened was good. What happened?
Man, look, I couldn't go. Look, I was going so far in it, I realized, you know, hey, God been calling me for a long time. The further you get into it, the more it requires of you.
Yeah.
And before I got too deep, I pulled out.
So
I couldn't do it no more.
How long ago was this? How long ago? Mind me asking.
What years were those? What year was those, Cole?
It was before, so 18, was it 17, 18? It was before the pandemic, of course.
Yeah.
I'm about to say.
It was, right before the pandemic.
Yep.
I'm saying, you know, J. Cole,
China,
you know, he's doing the music. He got his shoe deal. You probably could have been there. You know, got you a shoe deal with the music. You know what I mean? Because J. Cole really wasn't no hooper. He got the shoe deal because of the music, and they saw him hoop. And I guess, you know, but you actually hoop. So that'd be the, you know what I mean?
No, we had a Baylor deal on the table. I wrote a song. For Baylor. They loved it. And so I was on the verge of doing that. And when I was at my apartment, because I was living in a condo, I was by myself in a condo, downtown Shenzhen. So I'm in the condo, and God he started talking to me, and I started seeing myself, you know, where would I be if I kept going? And it just would have draw me further away from him. And so the farther away from him I would go, the harder it would be for me to get back. So I couldn't even envision myself getting back, but I knew at that point I couldn't. You know, it was either all in. You know, I started meeting people that were very, very big. The person who I was dealing with, who was my manager, he, like I say, right away, you know, as we recorded music, he started he had me doing shows. I was in Hong Kong, emceeing, doing shows in Hong Kong, all over China. I would leave basketball games, fly out right after the game, go do a show, then get back on the flight to come back to the game. Still dropping 30 though. You know what I'm saying? Still dropping 30 though. So it was fun, man, and everybody was shocked. They couldn't believe it, because when I first got there, man, I was terrified. I was terrified to be left in China. And Mims, my brother Mims. Mims, who is a real pro, you know, over 20 plus years being a pro. This dude, he was, hey man, I got you, man. I'm not gonna I'm gonna show you the ropes. I done been in many different countries, but being, you know, I went out in China on faith. A prophet of mine prophesied about 5 or 6 years before I ever went to China that he saw me in China and I was doing really well and things like that. So when the opportunity came from Cyril White, I don't know if you guys know Cyril White.
I do know Cyril White. Cyril White, he got me. I played with him in China. I played with a team with him in China. He also is the one who has the reflector basketballs. I did an order with him. Yeah, Sir White, that's my guy. Oh, that's so crazy, man. Dang.
Yeah, so Serial came to me. Serial knew how I was. He knew who I was. And he said, hey, Tim, I got something for you. It's for you. I'm like, hey, Serial, man. The time to be playing with me, you know, I'm out here right now, you know? And he said, hey, man, listen, God said this for you, right? So he brought me to China. Before you know it, we was on tour with Shannon Brown.
Mm-hmm.
On the tour with Shannon Brown, I asked Shannon Brown. He didn't know. See, Shannon Brown, he didn't know me. So maybe he thought I was picking, but or maybe he thought I was being a groupie or something, you know. But I definitely ain't never been a groupie. Always been a boss, you know.
Right.
So we on the bus. Now the guys on the bus, they know who I am. They know what I'm about. So I'm telling Mims, I'm like, man, isn't Shannon married to Monica? I'm like, he right next to me. You know, I'm like sitting on the left. He's sitting right next to me. So I'm like, oh man, maybe I can get a feature for Monica. If I can get a feature for Monica, like $5,000-$10,000, that's a steal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I tapped Buddy on the shoulder. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, can I get that feature? You know? He turned around and kind of buck at me like he think I'm disrespecting him, you know? And Mims kind of, hey, pipe down. You know, he don't know what you doing. You feel me? So, man, China was awesome, man. You know, God really took care of me, man. Really took care of me.
Yeah, that's crazy how you mentioned Cyril, man. Cyril's a good dude, man. I think he still got his what is it, the TBG.
To God be the glory, sports, man. Yeah, for
yep,
sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I think I saw it. I forgot where I played at. I ran into him. But yeah, let me know what he was doing, and let me know he was just grabbing guys, putting guys on, doing tours. And we hit. I think it was Shanghai, Tianjin, and what other city that they hit? I had left, but he was just taking guys out and giving guys jobs, man, and putting guys on. And he was just like, and it's crazy because he speaks Chinese. He was speaking. I was like, man, I'm just looking. He fluent, right? He fluent. So I'm just like, man, this is crazy, bro. And I just asked him, like, how long you been? Like, how long? I've been in China, man, for so long. Like, he's been speaking it. He's been, studying for like 5 years. And he just let me know like his beliefs and faith, man. And I just locked in with it immediately. So the fact that you said Cyril, man, that just got me like juiced a little bit. Like, that's crazy. Not too many people I know that would know somebody I know. But again, Coach Ashley, sometimes we never know who we meet. Because I talked to Coach Ashley. Coach Ashley knew somebody who I grew up with and went to San Francisco High School with. So the fact that, you know what I'm saying? So I know just meeting Coach Ashley, so many things that I pay attention to, it just grabs towards me even more, man. Just meeting different people, and you just never know who you meet, who might know somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Cyril changed a lot of lives. At that point in my life, I didn't know which way to go, bro. Honestly. So when he brought me to China, he said, Tim, he said, listen, I'm gonna drop you off in China, but when I come back, you're gonna have a gold mine. I believed it, but then when it actually came time for me to stay, I was like, I don't know, Cyril, man, no, bro, because I was I'm in their country, I'm in China, I'm literally in the motherland, in their motherland,
right.
And Mims wrapped his arms around me and said, hey, bro, telling you, all we got to do is make it through this night. When we wake up in the morning, you're gonna be good. And sure enough, man, when I woke up that next day. Big shout out to a guy over there, a veteran named Lee. He also looked out for us, man, and it just was a blessing from there.
Right. That's what's up, man. Damn, that's a hell of a story too, man. So you're doing a lot. So what you doing now? So you said you're coaching girls. Are you still putting guys on now too to send them overseas and stuff?
Yeah. So I backed off from the boys for a while. And started doing boys quietly in the background and individually. Like instead of doing it in such big numbers, I started doing boys just like individually. So I was dealing with a lot of guys who are in the pros right now, but I was dealing one-on-one with them and taking them one at a time and really expanding on the girls' side. My ultimate goal is to be a collegiate coach on the girls' side. I feel like I fell in love with the girls' game. They they work hard. The skill sets are high. And once I got a taste of it, man, I was like, okay, this I could swim here. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been doing. Right now with a program called Sci-Fair. Sci-Fair has been around for a long time, man. We feature the best girls in the country, and my independent brand is also connected to Sci-Fair, which is called Doom Squad. So you have the Sci-Fair brand, then you have my independent brand, which is called Sci-Fair Doom Squad. So I'm the head coach of the 17 UIBL team this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm just trying to kick the door down, get into this women's coaching game. I know I can recruit, man, and so now it's just a matter of getting an opportunity to get on that level,
Right. I mean, you're right, because nowadays we're starting to see a lot of girls that are hoopers, and I'm paying a lot of attention to the college basketball, and we see how these girls are at college. You know what I mean? See, what's the name did to Stanford just past week as a freshman. You know what I mean? What she did, and I'm like, man, that's Stanford, number 4 in the country. She did that. She scored 76% of the points. She's 7 points away from outscoring Stanford. I was just like, yo, let me rewind this. I'm watching this game again. Yeah. I literally watched the game and almost broke down every possession that she just had the ball. I was like, let me see how she, let me just watch. And it's crazy, man. Like, I never seen a girl, like, just play like that. I mean, Caitlin Clark is nice. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that this.
She's not Juju.
Exactly.
Caitlin is special, right? She's nice.
Yeah.
But Juju, I seen Juju in person.
Okay.
Big ups. I got to give, that girl, Caitlin Clark, man, she's extremely nice. Let's just get that straight. She will peel your cap back.
Yeah.
But Juju, the WNBA is going to have to pay Juju. Like, she probably going to be the first female to get some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a show. And she's just a freshman. I saw her in person. She came to Texas at the Clash of the Clubs. And
that's crazy, man.
She's a show.
I had never seen nothing like that, man. Like, just watching, I'm like, man, she can't be a freshman, man. She can't be a freshman playing. Like, she dropped 51. Like, I never seen nothing like that. Like,
yeah, they're gonna have to pay her. They're gonna have to pay her. She is whoever she's been working with. They not only gave her the skill set, but she has the Mamba mentality. So she understands because if you go back and you watch the previous games that she's been playing since being a freshman, everything's been leading up to this 51-point game. Somebody got on to her. Somebody, whoever's close to her, got on to her and said, hey, listen, you guys are, you've lost this, this game, that game, that game. It's time for you to put the team on your back. And if y'all going to lose, you might as well go for the gusto because she doing it,
That's serious. That's real, though, man. It's crazy.
So tell us, my bad, about the Doom Squad. So who you got? Tell me. I mean, like you said, you're a hell of a recruiter. You know what I mean? That's a part of it. You know what I mean? And a coach. So, and you playing in the circuit. So who you got? Some of the girls that's standing out for you.
Well, in the Doom Squad, first let me tell you my concept behind the Doom Squad.
Let's go.
The Doom Squad, I'm big on animation, bro. I watch Dragon Ball Z a lot.
Okay.
I used to be a fan of that. Okay, all right.
Yeah. And see, I believe that the truth is told through animation because the truth is so big that the only way it can truly be told is through animation because it's a lot of characters going on in that Dragon Ball Z. So the Doom Squad came to me because Sci-Fair they just run through everybody, bro. They just run through everybody. The guy who's over Sci-Fair, his name is Earl Allen, bro. And he's like a real, on the women's side, he's a real guru.
Okay.
So he got a real eye for talent. I gauge myself against him, I'm always challenging myself to discover players who he hasn't discovered.
Right.
Because he gonna discover the big dogs. So I got to go find them big dogs he ain't seen. So I love shocking him. You know, I love shocking him. Damn, Timothy, you always coming with. So if you shock him, you definitely a big dog. You know.
Okay.
Right.
So I kind of looked at it as, you know, them coming through, destroying everything, and the people that stand up out of the rubble. That's the Doom Squad. You know. So I got some girls, man. Let's just say I got some girls who are undiscovered.
Okay.
One who I'm working on right now, man, from Louisiana. Her parents, they've been through a lot. She actually had heart surgery and missed her whole sophomore season.
Wow.
But she came down here to Texas, out here in Duncanville in a tournament. That's why I discovered her. And she was destroying these girls. I said, hey, look, listen, you a Doom Squad girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got you. We gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it, mom and daddy. She gonna be good. But the Doom Squad, it'll mirror the EYBL team. So you'll have the EYBL girls. So everybody on the Doom Squad team will be just as good. So if you go to UT, that means she'll be going to, you know, Kentucky or something. You know what I mean? So that's how that's gonna go.
Right. Okay. All right. That's what
So,
you're doing, man.
I know at one time you was doing something with as far as international too. You was talking about trying to do some was it I-9s or whatever? I forgot.
Yeah, the I-20s, the I-20s.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Are you still rocking with that, or?
Yeah, man, I had to you know, I was gonna pay. It costs to get I-20s. It costs. Okay. And so I was gonna pay the fee, but my guy told me he's gonna take care of the fee for me.
Okay.
So right now I'm just waiting, but I already got the approval from my school. You know, last year I had Taco Fall back in the day.
Wow.
I had Taco Fall. He was living with me, and so he wasn't the first international kid I've ever had. But you know, I had Taco Fall, so I've already been dealing with international kids. But I would always have to place them in different schools.
Okay.
I've never been in a situation where I can place them in a school where I'm at, you know. So now this will be, you know, here coming soon, one of the first times that I've ever been able to have international kids go to my school, which is an A-rated campus, which is called Idea Edgecliff.
Okay.
Been A-rated for like 3 years. And so they've turned over the basketball program to me. So we you know, I came in, canceled we stepped out of the charter school league, and I said, hey, in order for us to build the program up out of nowhere, it's best for us to be independent and just schedule games, because by scheduling games, you know, I can bring players in to come guest play, introduce them to Idea, see what the academics about. If you graduate from our school, you go into college as a junior.
Oh, wow.
So our college prep program is really good. You know, our administration is really good. And so now the campus has been A-rated for 3 years. So now it's time for us to be A-rated all across the board. And so that's what we're working on right now. So soon, and very soon, here in a couple months, we'll have the I-20s, and I'll start bringing in international players to our school.
Damn, and that's gonna be, and that's what makes like basketball even more interesting too. When you get international players, you know, they come from different backgrounds, and you bring them into your organization. It makes things interesting with the coaches, even with the players. You know what I mean? It just makes it more intriguing, and then just the process of doing that and having it going just to get players on, man, is good, bro. So I salute you on that, man. Keep that up.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's a lot of different systems in schools that won't even do that, and even, you know, kids from overseas that are really trying to get out here just for education, but that are ones that are really talented and skilled. Like we'll see a lot of, you know, players that are dominating the NBA. You know what I mean? For example, that are coming from overseas. So, of course, it starts with the education, man. But that's good, man. Keep that up, bro. Definitely.
Appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I told you, I got my hands in a little everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tim been talking for a minute just about all these different ideas coming together, how to work together. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that like helped build our relationship is the fact thinking out of the box. You know what I mean? It was one of those we respect each other not only as like players, as men, as fathers, but also businessmen. You know what I mean? So how we're looking at it, I'm like, all right, if you know me, I don't deal with everybody. I know a lot of folks, but when it comes down to it, you can't work with everybody. That's just keeping it real. You know what I mean? And so Tim has been somebody that I've been blessed to continue to be in contact since China. And we just been waiting, just collaborating. Hey, I'm over here in Washington doing this. What you got? You know what I mean? I got some kids. I got some players. We're going to have to connect and we're going to have to do some things. So that's one of the things, too, that we're talking about, like Team Ballaholic. You know what I mean? That we can be able to go down to Texas, down here, Houston, connect with Tim and get plugged in, young ladies, men, you know, just different ideas. And that's what's helping, like I said, with the Admiral, Streetball, the Pro, everything we have going on. It's about the relationships. You know what I mean? And so that's another reason why I said I got to have my man on, because folks in where I'm at in Washington and Kitsap are a small community. You know what I mean? But they're not realizing just how the ambassador, you know what I mean, end up, you know, going from Coach Rich Paul to the ambassador, but just the connection resources, you know what I mean, that I have for the community and just people. And that was one of the things, just showing it on the adult side, where I'm telling folks, I'm like, look, you know, I coached him. You know what I mean? I watched him fly from, like he's saying, I watched it. I was there. You know what I mean? Doing a concert, come back. I said, bro, you gonna be, yep, he's back, boom, coming in, putting up numbers, you know what I mean? Carl, Mims, all the big hitters, and we left our mark and created relationships with players locally here, like Wani and some of these other guys that came out of Seattle. They know these guys, you know what I mean? They had a chance to play with them, you know what I mean? And just continue to build to this day. So I think that's one of the things, you know, end up meeting you in Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm your agent, we partners, and it's just letting folks know, you know, just the relationship and the connections. You know what I mean?
You know, and I'm gonna say this, Coach Ashley, and this is for you. You know, it's like this here. You know me.
Yeah.
Because you were around me.
Yeah.
If you were to speak to some people who've probably played ball with me, been around me, that don't know me,
yeah,
they'll never believe that I was doing all those things. You know, they'll never believe that, hey, Bush is the biggest boss. You know, they wouldn't believe that.
For real.
But, you know, a friend of mine taught me this, man. Tweety Carter scored the most points in high school history. Assistant coach at Baylor right now. He said, Tim, he was so mad because he had a lot. He loved me. You feel me? So he was so mad at me because I would see me chasing behind people trying to make things work. He finally came. He said, hey, man. He said, man, look, stop doing that. I'm like, what? He said, rock with those who rock with you.
Yep.
He said, if you got to chase them down, don't worry about it. He said, whoever God sent to you, that's who you work with.
Facts.
And that's what I would tell you, Coach Ashley, because trying to prove to people all the amazing things that you're doing and all the amazing things that you've done in the community, the people that God send, they'll take a chance on it. Yeah. They'll understand it and see it and believe it right away. Because we're living in a time of supernatural blessings. We ain't trying to argue nobody to a blessing.
Facts.
You know, so if you want to be blessed, they're going to jump on the plane. If they don't want to be blessed, they're going to talk about, man, you see Coach Ashley taking off on that plane, you're going to be already in the air. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo, hey, Tim, I second that, bro, because everything you just said, that defines our story, how I met him in Mexico. Like, I played against him. Our first game, I played against him. Later on that night, like, he came in like, yo, like, you, Cordell, you both, like, yeah, we talked. We went downstairs. She let me know his whole spiel, like his whole vision. I had the same kind of vision, but, you know, let him know my background. He let me know everything. And like you just said, if you don't know our background, if you don't know of like that, you feel me? Like, I knew of like it was like that. And we still got the picture. The next day, I'm signing the jersey. That was the contract right there. It's already signed a deal. And and kid you not, 3 weeks later, well, there you go. Yep, that jersey right there.
Jersey up there on the wall. Yep.
And 3 weeks later, we in London playing basketball. We in London playing pro ball, and I'm just like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be, man. Like God, like this is it. This is God. This is the man, dude, who I'm supposed to be with, who I'm supposed to be rocking with right here. So it's crazy that you just said that whole. That's like a. I don't know. That was sweet, bro. Like, it's like a poem because it's the whole story how me and him met, man. And that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Coach Ashley cutting them checks, baby.
Hey, put him. Hey, coach, put
Get
the
that
glasses
straight.
in pen. The glasses in the pen.
You feel me? Yes, sir. We all left happy and pockets full. Okay.
Tell him, Tim. I'm trying.
Coach, I'm gonna make him put some respect on your name because I know how I be. You know.
Man,
We got witnesses. The Bible say where there's 2 or 3, 2 or 3 witnesses.
yes.
We got more than 2 or 3 now.
Yes.
We got big ballaholic on here now. Stop playing.
Man.
Yo, and that's what I'm saying. This is
crazy.
I work with like I said, we made money together. We ate together. We all eat. It's really like it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a motto, and that's one of our respect factor. You know what I mean? You gotta earn respect. It's not given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thing that I stood on integrity, and that's something that Tim can witness. You know what I mean? And that's how we built our relationship. You know what I mean? And so that's where, like, when I met you, I'm like, man, that's all I have. You know, in a sense, is my word, and the fact that my word is not just for me; it's giving God glory. You know what I mean? So I'm just the instrument that's being used, and so, man, I got this, I got that, I've done all of these things, and I can help you. You know what I mean? And I just want to help you. We come together, we're gonna eat together, and that's pretty much. And Tim will tell you that's Coach Tim, boom, and we did it. You know what I mean? And we still connected. You know what I mean?
Those bags was nice, man. Them bags was nice, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, and that's why I was telling you, Ball. I was like, man, trust. You know what I mean? I got guys giving me ideas and visions. Let's get together and we're gonna eat. You know what I mean? Just be patient, and you watched it. We're gonna be going to Japan next month. You know what I mean?
Next month. Yeah, next month. Yep.
Get London.
Man,
boom.
I'm mad I ain't getting no invite. I could have been assistant water boy or something. I can keep the water cold, ballaholic. You feel what I'm saying? How you like it? Lukewarm, ice water.
Hey,
I can take care of it. For real.
oh, shit.
Towel boy, I ain't doing no tripping. I am not like these youngsters. Trust me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy right there.
I mean, that's where we at. That's why I'm like, yo, let me really begin to plug in, because now we're going back overseas. And so I got a thing that I'll talk to you about once I get all the details. Africa. So Africa is now on the table. So I just got hit up. I sent the info to Ballaholic, and we got a group that want us that go out and help them build a program out there. It's the Rotary Club. You know what I mean? So as soon as we come back from Japan, we're going to start talking details, and I'm going to need a squad. You know what I mean? We're going to have to go over there. We're going to have to do our thing, teach them and do this. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to check your availability, you know what I mean? And say, hey, let's go to Africa and let's do what we do over there. Just continue to keep building. You know?
Let's go.
So
I ain't gonna second guess your coach like these youngsters. Let's go. Let's roll.
That part, I mean, that part. And so that's another thing. Like you said, I passed that part where, man, let me prove, let me do this, let me do that. I've been in the game for over a decade. You know what I mean? And I've been blessed to work with players like both of you are. You know what I mean? High caliber players with big names. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those, for me to be consistent and still being able to evolve as the game is changing and still be relevant. God is doing something with me, you know what I mean? And with the brand. And so that's where I just sit there now. You know, it's one of those, hey, I talk to you. If you ain't trying to listen, business is business. No disrespect, but I got to keep it moving. You know what I mean? So yeah. So, okay, man, I'm trying to think. So we got the Doom Squad. You got the I-20 thing. Man, what else you got going? You know, with the...
I'm actually working on a program. I just got approved by the school to start a program for these boys, man. It's just something like a panel where we bring people in because it's like, sometimes some people, depending on who you are, I'll accept a Zoom depending on who you are. But I'm more into people who understand the importance of kids seeing your face and being able to touch you and show them that you're real.
Right.
But I'm start working on a program for these boys where at least once a week or a couple times a month, where we have guest speakers, whether they're famous people to them or famous YouTubers, bloggers, whoever these kids love,
Right.
to come talk to these young boys about being young men. You know what I mean? And just the things that they're going through, and they can ask them a million questions. And I want to deal with people who understand the importance of giving back. And giving back is not always, we don't need your money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm raising bosses, so what we need is your time. The most precious thing in life is time. So if you could give us some of your time and just come and visit with these young men, and they can ask questions, because that's what changed my life. In the elementary school, seeing Willie Rofe come to our elementary school, and when he talked to us, man, I was in 4th or 5th grade, but I was intellectually, I was able to comprehend everything that he was saying and process. And at the end of processing that, I say, hey, I'm gonna do the same thing Willie did.
Right.
I'm gonna play sports. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I ain't looking back. I'm getting out of here.
Exactly.
I know they glorify the hood, but the people who actually in the hood, we want to get out.
We want to get out. We want to get out. We want to get out quick, man.
So that's what I want to provide for them, because I believe that's what changed my life, man. And so I can only imagine that it's going to help these young men as well. And even though I have an awesome story, they see me all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when they see you all the time, they get comfortable.
Right.
When I first walked into school, it was like, whoa, this guy. But now it's like, oh, dang, here come Mr. Bush. Watch out. Here come Coach Bush. Watch out. So, the school, luckily, we got an amazing principal. Her name is Kanika Francis.
Okay.
This lady she's a beast. She's great at hiring the right team. And so now it's time, for me to kind of give my most precious thing that God gave me, which is my time, by creating this program for these guys to start bringing in guest speakers, people who are willing to sit down and give these kids an audience, so they can ask questions and kind of figure this thing out.
Right. And that's good. And I talked to Coach Ashley. We need more of that too. More of these little seminars where we need to talk to players about, how to be young men, and in life, and financial literacy and all kind of different things that come with it. Because a lot of us nowadays, especially the new generation of basketball players or athletes, they see these NIL deals and a lot of other different things, and lights go off and forget about other things that matter that come with it. You know what I mean? So just reaching out to them, and not just talking, but having them asking them questions, because we can get out there and talk, but it won't hit none of them. You know what I'm saying? So we would have to ask the questions, of course, like, how do y'all feel? What y'all been through? And how do y'all, you know what I mean? So again, man, that's good, bro. So what's your what motivated you? I know you got a lot going on. So besides basketball, what motivated you to do everything that you're doing now? Or what you been doing?
Man, my wife and my daughter.
Yep.
When I met my wife, I was coming from the studio. I was on an all-night flight. I ain't even sleep. I was coming straight from the studio. And when I met her, and she was able to convince me basically that, she truly loved me. Because, a lot of times in our lives, we can have a big smile on our faces. And that goes for those of us who are playing pro ball as well.
Yep.
But hiding, using the money to hide behind the pain.
Yep.
All right.
So when she showed me I could trust her, and then God spoke to me on her behalf, that changed things. And then when my daughter came, I never thought I was gonna have kids. So I wanted kids, but I never thought I was gonna have kids, and I never thought I couldn't see it. And so when my daughter came, at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure, you know, tomorrow not promised.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that, you know, if anything, you know, when God does call me home at some point in my life, hopefully not till 95 or 110 or something like that.
Mm.
But when it does happen, I want her to remember me as a man with man habits, man behaviors, you know, man characteristics, not as a guy, you know, with no self discipline and things like that, you know. So that motivated me to change everything and kind of you know, put the brakes on some of the things that I did, and I lost I lost people, you know. I don't want to say friends because obviously it couldn't have been friends, but you know, people were calling and pulling on me, and I said, "Hey, man, I can't go that direction no more. I'm not by myself."
Yeah.
And so that got a lot of people angry, bro. That got a lot of people angry, but the love that I was surrounded around was stronger than the hate I was feeling on from the outside, you know. So that was my motivation, man. And obviously, I'm always bringing back to my relationship with God because if it wasn't for Him, man, I would not be sitting in this chair right now. That's a
Yeah,
guarantee, bro.
bro.
That's a guarantee.
Big facts.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's some things, you know, I can't say, but Ashley know what's up with me, you know.
Big
I
facts,
tell you because
Hey, bro, hey, you ain't got to tell me, man. I
yeah,
hear it.
man,
I
you know,
can hear it, man.
yeah,
I can hear it, man. Like they say, man. You know, once it's a different type of talk, man. Once you know, when you're from the trenches, from the neck of the woods, and you ain't even gotta, it ain't even gotta really be the hood talk. You could just hear it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just some of the same energy like I've dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Growing up and just being around just active stuff. You know what I mean? Just being around it so much, and they're still dealing with it. But then knowing what goes on, and them people giving you support, and it's like, man, I know what he do, but then they do that for me. Man, I got to get away from this, man. This ain't where I'm going. You know what I mean? And to have that mindset to do that is God. I got my family and everything, but God is the one like, yo, you got this going on, bro. Get up out of here now. You know what I'm saying? Get up out of here now. This already didn't happen twice, so it's time for you to go.
yeah.
So you know what I mean? So yeah, I man, it's so crazy, man, just hearing it. I know you got a hell of a story, bro. How old are you?
Man, I turned 40 in December, bro.
Oh man, you done been through it, man.
Man, 40, bro. God, dog, man. Shoot.
Still young. Hey, you still young. You still
Yeah,
young.
he's still young. That's what they tell me, bro. What they tell me. All I can think about is 10 away. You know, it's 10 away.
Right.
Jeez,
Welcome to the 40 Club. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's definitely, I mean, everybody, that's another reason I'm always like, man, I gotta give God glory. I'm like, man, who I am now and who I was is two different people. You know what I mean? And it wasn't because of something I did. You know what I mean? It was God had to intervene. You know what I mean? So it's one of those, that's what I love. Like I said, me and Tim, I know Tim, you know what I mean? And that's my guy. And so it's dope just to hear just how in his growth, you know what I mean? Just listening because I knew him before he had the baby and the wife. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
yeah.
All right.
To him and his love for God and just everything, just his testimony. You know what I mean? So it's encouraging even for myself because it's like, man, when we go through different trials and tribulations, like he was there when the time when I was going through my divorce. You know what I mean? I was in Texas. You know what I mean? And he was one of the guys that rolled up and sat down and we ate and chopped it up. And I'm like, yo, this is where I'm at. You know what I mean? So it's one of those like, you know, when you go through things and then you come out on the other side. You know what I mean? And now here we both sitting down and you know, on the podcast, like, hey, we was talking about from China to going through to now we here, you know, as men and fathers and, you know, husbands where we're like, yo, business owners, this is where we at. And these are the growths. This is what God has done and what he's continued to do. And so that wisdom, you know what I mean? And so that's the dope part. And just to be like say, ball hard, because man, we just connected and we've grown leaps and bounds since we've been rocking. You know what I mean? That's my guy, and so it's just dope to be able to come together and just be honestly an example to other. You know what I mean? Especially our young Black men. You know what I mean? That's growing up, and even the young ladies as well, to say, because we always get this negative. You know what I mean? Hey, man, Black man ain't nothing. You can't find this. You can't find that person. You know what I mean? But here it is. You got some examples of some that is actually like, oh, we're all not the same. Put it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know we know there's a difference, but it's the same across the board. You know what I mean? Good is good and bad is bad.
Yep.
It is what it is, you know, and it doesn't have a color.
Facts.
Good is good and bad is bad. You know, I got some people I love dearly from all different types of ethnicities, and they love me as well, and they go through the same struggles that we go through. But you know, we've been put here to be leaders, man. You know, we're here to be leaders. We've been put here to show people how to endure.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing, Coach. You know, Ballaholic, we've been enduring. But now we in a season of plentiful and bountiful, you know. And that's why we sitting here talking now, because we know, you know, on all sides, hey, it's up.
Yep.
Right. Hey, real talk. Hey, and I like what you said too, but like you can lead from the back. I like that. Because a lot of people think you can be in the front, got to be a leader, but nah, you being back in the pack and still lead. You know what I mean?
You know what, Ballaholic? You know the beauty in that is this, bro. When I come across people, right? They don't know anything about me, and they don't know anything about my wife. They don't know nothing about what we do. They don't know nothing about our money. They don't know nothing about us. They don't know anything about us. Right. So we get to see them for who they truly are. For instance, I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna say no names, bro. I ain't gonna say no names. But there was a coach, right? I met the coach because you know I'm trying to crack into the women's game. Well, the male coach who got love for me, I got love for him. He says, man, let me take you to go meet this coach. I think this will be great. Well, I had to tell Coach, I said, hold up, Coach. I'd rather not meet her. Now, I didn't tell him that I already met her. Now, if I would have met her with him, she would have been like, oh, hi. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Of course you can work the camp. Right. Come to 5 camps. We're going to pay you $2,000 a camp. We're going to put some money in your pocket. We're going to take care of you. Right?
Right.
But that's not how I met her. I met her by herself. I went up to introduce myself, and she was rude and she was nasty. Her spirit was nasty. She was rude. Wow. Now to the world, she's awesome.
Gotcha. Yep.
She's awesome. She's a great person. She's a legend. She's this. She's that. But to the normal person who really got a chance to get a whiff of her spirit, because you know when they up, they know how to put on the cover and they know how to hide themselves.
Yeah.
But when they up looking down,
yep,
and somebody catches their attention from down, they're going to show you their true colors because they don't feel you can climb all the way that high to affect anything they have going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, leading from the background, man, it has a lot of perks. You know this, Ashley, firsthand. When we was in China, most of the blessings that I received from Chinese bosses over there were people you would have never imagined was the richest person in town.
Yep.
They never appeared to be the richest person in town, but they were.
Yeah.
They never appeared to be the most powerful, but they were.
Yeah.
So that's why I learned that from. I'm like, yo, if he's happy, he got all his friends around, his people around. Nobody think they above nobody. Them, you know, you can't touch that, man. Them people will carve you up, you know. So once I saw that, I said, hey, that's who I want to be. I prayed for it, man. This is what I pray for. I said, God bless me, but I don't want people to know, you know, what I have. I don't want them to know what I have, you know. So it's a blessing, man.
Always.
It really is, you know what I mean? And that's something I can sit there and say, being in the background, you know what I mean? Is, you know, the maestro that orchestrate a lot of things and know a lot of people. And like Tim said, the folks that we work with, like I tell people, if I told you my story, You know what I mean? If I sat there and told you, like when I went international and the tables I sat at and the people that I really met and worked with, you wouldn't have thought of that. You know what I mean? When you sit and you talk to me, you know what I mean? But it was the whole idea from the back. I'm not trying to get all the glory. I'm not looking to, you know what I mean? Like all eyes on me. It's not about me. And so to be in the back, like in the, as McCray say, I can play the background. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. I play
I'm
the
cool
back.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I'll step up like Leonidas when I have to.
right?
I feel like
For real.
Yeah.
for sure. That's crazy.
What if people want to get a hold of you or follow you or anything, know anything about what you have going on? You know what I mean? How can they, you know, get a hold of you? You have any social media platforms or website?
Yeah, my Twitter is at Coach Tim Bush. My Instagram is at Coach Tim Bush. So you can follow me on there. You know, I'm always on Facebook. You know, I met the Facebook guy when he came to Baylor. You know,
Oh,
he was
wow.
doing his tour. So I hold, you know, being one of the first people to be he's the one who helped me get on Facebook.
It's crazy.
So that's a funny story in itself, right? So but anyway, you know, I'm still on Facebook, man. You know, being one of the first people ever to get introduced to Facebook, I'll never get rid of it.
Right.
So yeah, at Coach Tim Bush, you know, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. You know, I'm starting to come around to the social media stuff. You know, for my girls, you know, they like to have their pictures and stuff put up there. So, you know, I'm getting better with it.
That part, that's what I'm starting to finally get, I guess, catch up. Because, I mean, being in the business for a minute, I wasn't so big with trying to push all the stuff on social media. We just grinded, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, oh, man, everybody getting those bags through social media, you know what I mean? So I guess I better put some videos up, some more pictures, and, you know, so the numbers are starting to slowly grow. So that is now the other part of the game. You know what I mean? It's that part. So Coach Tim Bush, Instagram, Tim Bush, I know on Facebook, because we friends on there. So, and then Twitter. You got TikTok? You don't got TikTok yet, man?
Man, I don't have a TikTok. I don't quite, you know, understand it, man. Like, you know, I talk to my niece about it from time to time. You know, I ask her about TikTok. I just haven't seen a purpose in it for me yet, you know. But you know what we do? I've been telling the girls we will set up a team TikTok.
Smart. Yep.
So they can do their thing.
Yep.
But you know, I think Instagram and Twitter is enough for me. I got Facebook. That's 3 different social media platforms. That's enough.
So I feel you on that. That's why I'm like, man, I gotta get a team, just a social media folks to just run it all. Because now, because that's the thing with Ballaholic, because he don't really do none of the social media. So I'm like, Admiral, so everybody, and just keep it flooding. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things too. Because you see TikTok, I got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. And I have personal and the business, Kiss App Admirals, Streetball, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, that's a guy within itself trying to keep up with all
It's hard to keep up with it, man.
It really is. Man. You got anything, Ballaholic? Let me see. Yep, I got an hour before I go out here and teach the kids. You know, I got my Sunday skill training, you know, always out here trying to
how did it go? Was that video cool? Was it cool? Did they was it all right?
Man, it was great, but it was a day late.
I know, and I was like, wait, he told me to do this yesterday. Hey, I was like, oh, I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, Coach told me to do it yesterday. So when you send it back, I was like, why did I? I was like, I'll talk to him about it.
So basically, Tim, he came out and visited. We did a camp out here, international friendship camp with Japan, and he came and visit my high school girls. You know what I mean? Showed them love, and so we had senior night Thursday. So I was like, "Yo, Paul, shoot him a video. I got you." Man, that boy came in Friday.
Right.
I'm looking at the video. I'm like,
Oh,
amazing. But
I
it
went
just
back in, coach. So I went back. I did the video. I went back into my office. I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, I said, he told me to do this. I was like, oh my gosh, they told me to do this yesterday. And I was like, man,
we still posted it in the group chat for the girls. You know what I mean? I said, man, I know they still gonna love it. You know what I mean? Despite the fact it's a day late,
it's a day late.
it's the thought. You know what I mean? It's the very thought that you thought about these girls senior night and you showed them love.
Oh my God.
It was delayed, but it wasn't denied.
That's
Right.
Yeah,
Oh
coach, I
man.
want you come when I do my tournament, Doomsday Hoop Festival. I want you to come down, bring the girls down. You feel me?
most definitely. Let me know when.
I got you.
Send me the information and we'll do that. You know what I mean? We'll make a team baller hall. That'll be the top team. You know what I mean? So we have our top team baller hall admirals, and then we have
you better. Yeah, you're gonna have to come with the ballaholics because if you it ain't gonna be no, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be nothing but killers in here, coach.
Okay, yeah.
As a matter of fact, you better go get ballaholics to come coach that team because this Texas, man, this the mecca of girls basketball, man. I show you. You know?
Oh, we like that. We like that.
to do that because I'm like, that's what it's all about: exposure and opportunity. You know what I mean? And that's my thing. I'm not trying to go down there and just get it handed to us. You know,
You're gonna have to come with them. Look, you might have to go get some special guest players to come on down here to the south now.
Hey, we're gonna do what we gotta do. We
Yeah.
Coast, we got connections on the East Coast, New York. Hey, I'm gonna have to. I do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? So,
you gotta have to go to. Hey, you gotta have to bring some of them back with Japan from Japan. Bring
yeah, too.
I like that. Okay. All right.
You know.
Oh man. Nah,
We need to talk
that's
about
all.
that though, Coach. That's something we need to talk about. You know.
For real. Nope.
That's crazy. That's all. A lot of the girl hoopers are from the South, though. Like the ones that are really tough and really can go. They've from Memphis, Texas, all the way on down south, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of them
Texas
from south.
For girls basketball. I mean, there's no place in America where you have more girls basketball going on than Texas. I mean, but it's expanded now. I'm not gonna sit here in front. There's a group come down here from Colorado, and they shocked me. I told Coach, man, you better not ever come back down here trying to run the table like that, bro. They came ready, top to bottom, multiple teams.
Oh, wow.
I said, oh no, we gonna have to. You about to make us get on the road and come up there to Colorado, see what y'all got going on.
Okay.
You know, so that girls game, you know, the most exciting thing about the girls game that's different about the men's game, coaching matters.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You got a bad coach on the girls' side, you're gonna get smacked.
Yeah.
I don't care if y'all good or not, you will get smacked.
Yeah.
But if you got a good coach, you know, you're gonna have a chance to, you know, be competitive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, coaches get exposed on that girl side.
Coaches do get exposed, right? Not just players, but coaches do get exposed too. Yep.
Yeah, you know, on that boy side, it get hidden, you know, because, you know, if we get to lose and the coach don't know what he's doing, and Kobe will just say, man, look, I got this.
We just take over. Yep.
Yeah, he just take over. I got this. That was Juju. That's why Juju hit that 51. That's uncommon. You know what I'm saying? What she did, you know? So, yeah, that women's side is something, man.
And that's what they need to. They need to pay homage to that. They need to respect that a lot more, man. It's different. It's like the girls getting better, and like for the men's side, it's just getting more. I don't know.
More
it's getting, you know, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right.
More foreign, right. And we still, us Americans, we still love our style.
Yeah,
and the women still, you know, they still flexing our style, and you know, with the women's game. It's not old. It's still fairly new. Yeah. So all the women who've been playing basketball are now, you know, seasoned. Now they starting to run things, and now they starting to get back involved with the women's game. You know, they're getting involved with the development and things like that. So this is the product of it.
And I totally agree, because you see girls like Juju, that how they move, the moves that they're doing. Even the girls in the league, you know, Asia Wilson, how she's dominant, just, you know, like everything, how they are, you breaking it down how they are, you know what I'm saying? And then for the men's side, it's just like every player is the same. They might be different. If they're different, they're foreigners. You see what I'm saying? Like Luka, like Vic, you know what I'm saying? Like Giannis. But it's like the Americans, they're all of the same. It's the same. You know what I mean? So seeing the girls do what we do or what they do, you know what I mean? It is kind of different. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's crazy. The women's side is starting to pick up, man, and they definitely need to get paid more. I'm a big advocate for that too. San Francisco, we get a WNBA team is going to start, I think 2025, the year after that. They're doing an all-star game out here. So I think it's that year or the year after that. But we get in the team, and, you know, it's starting to motivate even more girls. We got a couple colleges out here, USF, State, you know what I mean, City College. So the fact that it's expanded, man, like the girls need to get paid more, man, because it's a lot of talent there. It's a lot of talent.
Yeah, they definitely need more money, more resources. You know, more
Right.
resources.
Right.
To you know, but here's what I will say. One thing I love about them, man, with the women, like they're tangible. You know, you can meet a WNBA star. Like if you see Asia Wilson and you speak to her, she gonna show you love. She's not gonna big up you. She's not gonna act like she God. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say hi. She gonna say hi at least. God, dog.
Right.
The men get to the lead, they act like they flying, like they shoes fly or something, you know? The women, you know, they still motherly, man. They still show love, you know, and it just makes you get a taste of that women's game, I guarantee it's going to be hard to leave.
Yeah.
You messing with them girls right now, Ash. You enjoy it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. That's why I started when I first started the Admirals on the men's side. My first coaching job at a high school was on the girls' side. So I was a girls' coach at Bremerton, started off first year C team, and then I took over the next 4 years as the head coach. And then I did middle school boys and jumped right back on the girls. I love the girls' side. I'm a big advocate. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like you said, that's another reason why we try to use a platform like you just mentioned, the lack of resources. So we're like, how can we get in more resources, exposure, opportunity? And that's another big reason why my program is a success out here, is because now the girls don't have to go, as we say, across the water over to Seattle to come in the big cities. But now, you know what I mean, they can come out of little smaller towns and come over to Bremerton or Kitsap, where I'm at, and they got elite high training, you know, type training and workout, somebody who can offer them something that they normally can't get, you know what I mean? And so that's I love the girls' side, and that's where I'm like, all right, excited, just like I said, put a squad together, you know what I mean, come down to Texas and see what it's looking like, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we'll talk more, because I know I have also been invited international teams, you know what I mean? So it's coaches and folks hit me up about bringing youth teams over to play international tournaments. So, of course, I took the boys team to Japan, but I have to Ireland and Spain and some more countries that want me to bring teams over. So that'll be something that we're like, hey, I got some opportunity. Let's put a Doom squad together. You know what I mean? Let's go over here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Represent and do what we do. And, you know, it's the same sort of concept on the adult side that we do, where we find free agents, and we saying, here's guys that actually probably slid under the radar or you don't know about. You know what I mean? You can get this contract versus trying to find somebody, you know what I mean? Not to say, because we are sort of like an agency in a way, because we're scouting, recruiting, and then we're getting these guys in front of the right people. But it's just different where you're just watching film. You know what I mean? Okay, watching film, or, you know, especially both of y'all high level D1, where it's easier to get seen or opportunity compared to somebody who played on a lower level. But it don't mean that they can't play. You know what I mean? They can play. They just didn't have the him opportunity. So if I bring that person out and you say, hey, all right, let's get him or her started with this minimum contract, you know what I mean? That may just open up the door. So it's just different ways, just a different, avenue for the game and constantly doing that. But hey, let me get ready, get up off this mug because I got 45 minutes and coach got to get to work. I got to how to play the game. That's one of the things I love to do. You know what I mean? Just constantly get back and teaching the game to the next generation that's coming up. So, hey, TB, appreciate you as always.
Definitely, bro. Nice to meet you, Ballerholic.
Nice to meet you. So, coach, definitely nice meeting you, man.
Yep.
And so with that,
you see Cyril before I see him, man. Tell him I said what's up, man.
I sure will.
Definitely
tapping back in with you as you get us more information about the different tournaments and stuff that you have going. You know what I mean, out your way and other activities. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all tap in, check him out. Coach Tim Bush, Instagram, Twitter. You know what I mean, Facebook. Hit him up. Doom Squad, he has a lot of opportunities, major resource, you know what I mean? Like we said, Streetball to Pro, that's all we're doing. We're bringing y'all different resources, from coaches, players. We're sort of that platform that you want to really tap in, you know what I mean? Because we got legit folks that's really connected in the game that can put you on. So tap in, and Doom Squad, and man, till next time, hey,
salute.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys.
All right, Coach.
All right.